Let's take a look at the triangle sum theorem. To do this, let's say that we want to find the sum of the interior angles of this triangle. So, we want to know if we take these three angles, A, B, and C, and add them together, we want to know what we would get. Well, to figure this out, let's start by exploring this triangle and its angles to see if we can figure out something that we know to be true. That may help us find what the sum of these three angles is equal to. So let's see. Let's start by taking the base of this triangle. Let's extend out the base of this triangle in both directions. So we'll extend out the base in both directions, and we get a straight line. Great! Now let's make another straight line, one parallel to this one, except let's have that line go through this vertex at the top of the triangle. So we draw a parallel line that goes through the vertex of the top of our triangle. And now we have parallel lines. Our triangle is in between two parallel lines. Now let's ignore our triangle for a minute and just look at the sides. Here, let's extend out these two line segments in both directions. So we'll extend out this line segment here, and we'll extend out the other line segment, just like this. Now look at what we get. We have two parallel lines, and these two lines are transversals. They intersect the two parallel lines. Now we know some things about the angles that are involved in parallel lines and transversals. So let's take a look at the angles that we know the measurement of and some of the angles that we don't know the measurement of. Let's see if we can find something that we know to be true. Well, when we're dealing with parallel lines and transversals, alternate interior angles are congruent. That means they have the same measurement. So let's see if we can find some of those. Let's try to find the alternate interior angle to angle A. In order to find that, we need to go to the opposite side of the transversal and then find the angle that shares a side with the other parallel line. So this one right here. This angle and this angle are alternate interior angles. That means they're congruent. So they have the same measurement. That means they both have a measurement of A. Now here we have another transversal. So this angle B right here has an alternate interior angle right here. So these two angles have the same measurement. They're alternate interior angles, so they're congruent. Now look at what happened. We now have the measurement of these three angles. And if we put those three angles together, we get a straight line. Now what do we know about straight lines? Well, straight lines are just straight angles. And straight angles measure 180 degrees. So if we were to take these three angle measurements and add them together, we would get the measurement of a straight angle, 180 degrees. So we take those three angles and add them together, and we get the measurement of a straight angle, 180 degrees. Hey, these angles look familiar. These are the same angles that we originally had inside our triangle. So now let's look back at our triangle. We have angles A, B, and C. And we just found that if we add A, B, and C together, we will get 180 degrees. That is the sum of the interior angles of a triangle, 180 degrees. And in fact, this will work for any triangle that you can create. For any triangle, you will always be able to make parallel lines, just like this, and then transversals with two of the sides of the triangle. Then you can find those interior angles and add them together, and you will always get 180 degrees. This is the triangle sum theorem. The triangle sum theorem states that if you add together the measurements of the interior angles of a triangle, their sum will always be 180 degrees.